Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Theoni with Thrifty Divas, and today we will be tie-dyeing with Little Man. We're going to be doing bleach and color, and we have 10 shirts in total. Now, I don't claim to be any professional or to be giving you any really strong advice. We are doing this just for fun. I haven't tie-dyed in about 10 years, but they used to come out pretty well, so let's see what happens today. So I am going to just spray down the clothing with water because that is what has always worked for me. Just a hair damp, not really wet or anything like that. Now you'll see this is for Little Man. It's a long sleeve and it is not white. It's actually like kind of an off-white. And I'm just going to go ahead and freehand a pinwheel pattern here. No fork, no clothespin, no nothing. Luckily with Little Man, he's not too particular. He'll think it's cool no matter how it comes out. So that's what's important. So the pinwheel's pretty much done, and we're just going to go ahead and put our rubber bands around it now. So we just put enough to kind of hold everything together and hold our shape without losing it. All right. And once this is done, I'm going to move on to the next shirt. I'm actually going to do them all first before we add the color. So I'm just going to spray this one down as well. This is actually the exact same shirt, long sleeve, kind of ivory, off-white. This one I'm going to accordion it freehand. So we're just going to kind of pleat it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, as well as the sleeves. And then I'm going to go ahead and put rubber bands periodically, relatively uniformly, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Again, we're not selling these. We're just doing these for fun. So I'm going to go ahead and put all those rubber bands in. And that one's done. And moving on to the next one. This one is a t-shirt, and I'm just going to go ahead and do random twists and pinches all throughout it. Make some crazy design with that, see how that works out. So I'm just going to do that all throughout the shirt where I think it might look cool. This one's risky, I know, but again, it's all for fun, so might as well give it a try. And there's that one. All right, next we have another t-shirt, and I'm going to do another pinwheel on this one. So I'll just go ahead and spin that around like the long sleeve one. And get our rubber bands when that's in place. Hold it all together. And there's that one. All right. This one I'm going to do, this is another long sleeve, and I'm actually going to do kind of a double pinwheel on this one. So I'm going to do one half of the shirt in one pinwheel, and then the second half of the shirt in another pinwheel, and kind of meet them both together, and then wrap the sleeves around and get your rubber bands and hold that all together and pray for the best. There you go. It's part of the fun. Now we're going to start dyeing. So Little Man has his gloves on, and now we are going to begin adding our color. Little Man chose out what he wants. I'm gonna let it, oh yeah, he's not understanding. It needs to go in one spot. So I'm just explaining to him that it has to be slightly precise. And now we dye together. So we're gonna go ahead and soak that all through into the pleats. And he's chosen his second color. And the third color. Now we need to flip it over and do the same colors for the same segments of the shirt, just on the other side. Make sure it's all filled in and matches. And there we go. Now we're going to put it into a Ziploc bag, and we're going to let the colored ones all sit at least 8 hours. So we're going to put those in, seal it up, and move on to the next one. So now we have this one that we did with the pleats and the rubber bands. So we're just going to kind of do this one in segments. So we're just going to do one full color all the way around and then move on to the next one. I should also add that every shirt that we are using is 100% cotton. That is going to give you the best color absorption. So if you can get that, that's what you want. So we're just going down the line all the way around. And you see here how my left hand glove is kind of putting dye all over the shirt. If you really care, you want to keep changing your gloves. At this point, little man is just preferring to be the project manager and telling me what colors to put where. So I just do as he says. He's the boss. These are for him anyway. And we're just going to end this one off with the same purple we have on the other end. All right, so this one is done. And because the ends are the same, beautiful, we can make a semicircle when we put it in the bag because those ends can touch, just like that. Put this in the bag, same thing, at least 8 hours. We've moved on to another one now. The third one that we folded. This one is the one with the double swirls, and we are going to leave some white in this one, we've decided. The next one is the one with all those crazy twisties that we're kind of just praying for the best on, and we're just going to go ahead and put a whole bunch of different colors in there. At this point, little man has quit. He is now sitting there eating chips and telling me what to do. So, story of my life. Yeah. All right, and here's the crazy one. We'll see what happens with this one. And now we have an adult one, and I've done the same thing as I did with the little one, the pleats, and then the periodic rubber bands. And at this point, little man has completely abandoned me, and he's playing with other things. So he's left me on my own now. So now it's the Oni tie-dye. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead, kind of like I did with the kids one, and just do periodic colors in bands all the way around. I'm not going to go too thoroughly in because I'm hoping it'll leave some white. So if you want any white left, then don't soak all the way through into every nook and cranny. Depends what look you're going for. And notice I didn't put the glove on the hand that matters. So that's very like me also. And we're just going to finish it off. My hands are totally stained. The other glove is totally ripped. And we put this into a bag. Now we're going to move on to bleach. So I have brown kids and then gray and blue adults. So on this brown one, the kids one, I'm going to try to do some crazy twists again. Just twisting it and putting rubber bands periodically. See what happens with this one. The adult gray, this one I decided to do a spiral on this too. And on the blue, I went for crazy twists also. So here are all our colored ones waiting for their 8 hours. And now we're going to do bleach. So we're going to take a squirt bottle and go 50-50 water bleach. Give it a gentle shake. Be careful. And just go ahead and cover it. Now, the cool thing about doing bleach tie-dye, on colored shirts and stuff, is that you never know what the dye composition is. So sometimes you get some pleasant surprises. Bleaches out into unexpected colors sometimes. Or just cool side effects. Bagged up the first, moving on to the second. This is one of those crazy twisty ones with the rubber bands. So you just go ahead, and I'm already noticing some really cool greens are coming out. See that? I like that. And you could stop. You could totally stop right here. Which I think I'm going to, because remember, bleach spreads. And the last one I'm going to do is the brown children's one with the crazy ties. And this is what we're working with after about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and get to rinsing these off now. These, again, remember, minimum of 8 hours is what I recommend. And here's our brown one. You see all the orange came out, the greens on the blue, and then that's actually the gray one. So we're going to go ahead and take our rubber bands out. And hopefully we got some pattern in here. All right. The good thing about the bleach ones is that they're so quick, the results. So if you're impatient and want kind of instant gratification like me, go bleach for sure. All right, so we rinse those out. And you don't have to rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse and rinse like you do with the color. I'm just going to put a little spritz of laundry detergent. And as soon as that soap comes out, you're good to go. Very, very unlike the colored ones, which take 10 times longer to rinse out. Moving on to the blue shirt. Gonna take all these rubber bands out. Same thing. We're gonna put a little bit of soap. Keep rinsing that out. And now this one's done too. And the last one is going to be the first one that we did. That's actually this was a gray adult one that we did the spiral on. And look at that. It actually got darker. So cool. And don't worry, we're going to look at all these hanging up. But I think this is definitely the best one so far, for sure. A little bit of soap. And now this one's done. I'm going to go hang them on the deck to dry, and we can take a little bit of a closer look at them. All right, here we are. So this is the kids' orange that we did the crazy little ties all over the place. You got some round patterns in here, but not too many. But I like it. The brown's only kind of on one side, and it came out with its own unique look. Next was the like turquoise adults that we also did crazy ties all over. I like how the foundation has become kind of a greenish. And look at our dark gray one. For sure, the best. I love it. All right, it is the next day, guys. I want to show you all of our colored ones hanging out in their bags, just to remind you of all the different patterns and colors that we did. And it has been about 14 hours. So now we have 5 kids' shirts and 2 adults. So we go ahead and take all of our rubber bands out, and then we rinse and rinse and rinse. And put soap about 3 different times, because color is not the same as bleach. All right, after it's not really running anymore when you wash it, we can take a look. And I'm going to show you one by one as we pull them out. So this was the crazy tie one of the crazy tie ones. That's pretty good. And we will look at these all hanging when we're done. But now let's move on to the next one. Begin the second of 5 kids ones. And this is the pleated that we put rubber bands around periodically. So we rinse this one out. And let's see how this one came out. Pretty good. I like it. again, we're not looking for professional work here. We're looking for pretty cool shirts. It's pretty cool for little man. And that was not white, remember. So let's move on to the next one. See what we did here. Sometimes it's hard to tell. I could label the bags, but what would the fun be in that? Let me see if I can figure it out. Okay, this looks to me like the double swirl one. It was the swirls in 2 different directions. So now, same thing. Rinse, 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 rinse. And let's see what we got here. That's pretty cool. I like it. And again, don't worry. I'll show you them all hanging at the end. All right, let's move on to this one. This is a long sleeve swirl with dark colors, so it'll take even longer to rinse. All right, let's take a look at this one. Long sleeve, remember, not white. You heard it here first, folks. All right, the last kids one before the 2 adult ones. Let's see what we have here too, because I don't remember. And actually, this looks like the double swirl. First one I showed you was a single swirl that I called the double swirl. And this is the one I left the white in. So let's see how this turns out. Okay, let's see what we got. I like it. I like it. Super fun, almost paint splashy. Giving me very 90s vibes. I'm loving it. And here are the sleeves. And again, don't worry. We'll take a look at them when they're hanging so that we get a better view. And you can see some of the swirls in there. The pinwheels that I did. But I didn't go all the way down because I wanted white on this one. So I knew the swirl wouldn't be as pronounced. All right, first adult one. This again was the pleated one. So let's take out our rubber bands and rinse, rinse, rinse. Now, just a side note, this and the next one are absolutely excruciating because they're adult, so they're bigger, they're dark colors, and they're heavyweight. So, after what seems like an eternity of rinsing, here it is. I love it. So cool. And we'll go hang that out on the deck as well. And we'll take a closer look at it in just a little bit. Now we're moving on to our very last one, which is another adult shirt. And it's heavyweight cotton, which means we're going to be here for a while. Let's see if I can remember what we did here. All right. Yes, that is another swirl. With some white in there, right? Yes, I left white in this one as well. Okay. So we rinse and rinse and rinse. And soap and soap and soap. And we're finally at the end. And it's still not even perfectly clear, but I quit. I'm exhausted. Okay. Here we go. This is the last adult one. It's cute. I like it. All right. We're going to go hang this one and look at all of them now. All right. So this is the first one that we did. This is a pleated. pleated with white. And this is the crazy random pinches all over the place. And this was not white. This was not a white t-shirt. You can see some of the pinches better than others. And here is the back. This one on the sleeve. Overall, okay, not my favorite. This was another pleated one, not white. This t-shirt was, this long sleeve tee was not white. I'm loving the sleeves. Loving the colors. And this was a double swirl with lots of white that I left in there. This is the one that looks like kind of like paint splatter. You can see one of the big swirls there. I like it. It's fun and funky. And here's a single swirl. Here's the back. And this was little man's self-proclaimed favorite, this long sleeve that was not white. And that's the dark colors with the single swirl. And here's the back. So again, these were about 14 hours they sat in their bags. I just love everything about that one. Now here is the adult tee. This was a swirl with white. I didn't go all the way through down to the pleats in this because I wanted some white to make it a little lighter and fun. And here's the back. And that's it. That's the 10, guys. So hope you enjoyed this video. It was supposed to be me and little man. However, he just hung out with me half the time. But again, just for fun. Hope you enjoyed. Hope it gives you inspiration. And until the next video, stay blessed, my friends. I love each and every one of you.